This might sound harsh, but I would never take advice from somebody who is overweight. Because if your body clearly shows you make poor decisions, baby, you ain't got no business speaking into my life. I don't date men who aren't physically fit. Because if you would neglect yourself, you will also neglect me. And we ain't doing that. Call it what you want, but I do not believe a woman who is out of shape deserves to be in a relationship. When it comes to love, there are rules one must abide by, and the first one is love thy neighbor as you love yourself. So if you cannot love yourself enough to make sure you are physically fit, emotionally fit, spiritually fit, baby, you are not qualified to love anybody else. Feel how you want.
So she's going viral. And I, just want to show love to the creator. Her name is Deja. She's actually in pretty good shape, but a lot of people are upset by what she said. Now, obviously, this is rage bait, and I'm a fitness guy myself. I work out every day, sometimes twice a day. And I tell people, especially guys, when it comes to being in shape, you wear your habits. Okay, we can see your habits, and technically, now being overweight and being in shape, two different things. You can be uh thin, you can be lean, and not technically be in shape. Being in shape could be multiple things, right? You have being in shape as far as boxing shape, football shape, basketball shape, right? Then you have gym shape, right? So there are different types of what quote unquote people consider being in shape. But I think what she's referring to is being overweight, and she threw some Bible verses in there. Here's the thing for all my Christians: gluttony is a sin, which is what America is, very gluttonous. We constantly eat. Our food is made to be addictive, and it shows. It shows. It's actually put a strain on the healthcare system. And as far as being in a relationship, I mean, I think she's trolling, right? She's definitely trolling right there. But there are some people that won't date overweight people. And it is what it is. Everybody has their preferences, just like how you see women that will get online and say, hey, I won't date a broke man. You get men that get online and say, hey, I won't date a woman that is an OnlyFans model or a prostitute or a stripper, whatever you want to classify. Everybody has their preferences. But I think before anyone gets in a relationship, you should most definitely work on yourself. Nobody's perfect. Nobody will ever be perfect, but aiming to perfection should be a goal that everybody has, whether that's how you eat, what you consume as far as social media, content, television, how you spend, how you save your money. Everybody has preferences. Me personally, just my personal preference, I'm not into, I guess what they consider overweight plus size. That's just my personal, that's me. I know a lot of guys that are into plus size women. There's nothing wrong with it, right? But I think that the American culture is starting to shift a little bit, because I'm starting to see online more and more people starting to want to work out. People paying attention to what they eat, trying to get rid of the processed food and alcohol and the things that are poisoning us. Now, I know that there's an argument that, and I see this online all the time, that just because you're thin, that means that it doesn't mean that you're healthy, right? Because there's overweight people are kind of the poster child for being unhealthy, and you can ask any doctor. You can look up the research. Being overweight comes with a lot of health complications, right? Like during COVID, we saw a lot of people that were considered overweight or obese lose their lives because their body couldn't handle, because of the high blood pressure and the different things that come along with being overweight or obese, or morbidly obese. People were having complications with COVID-19, and that's the thing, right? You should want to be in shape. You should want to be healthy to most definitely, so that your partner doesn't have to bury you because of the lifestyle choices that you made, especially when it comes to food. Food is one of the most addicting things. It's very hard to for a lot of people to lose weight because of the food choices. The food is like a drug. It's like cocaine, it's like crack, it's like marijuana, it's like LSD, it's like opioids. They're very addictive. The food is designed that way to keep you buying and keep you eating. And one of when I was overweight, the hardest, I went through an actual withdrawal because of the amount of processed food and sugar that I was eating. So that's really the hard part for most people. And once you can get away from processed food, it becomes a lot better. Once you don't exercise, put on muscle, it's just better. You can live longer. You have more energy. You have more clarity in mind. It's just a better lifestyle than constantly consuming food and being overweight. Then you got to find clothes that fit. And in my personal opinion, if America became more health conscious and we took control of what's in our food, it would help the healthcare system a whole lot. Okay. Food is one of the reasons why most people are overweight and sick. And that's one thing that people need to learn to control. You don't have to buy this stuff. Just like you wake up every morning, you may go get a coffee, you may eat whatever you want to eat, but you have control over where you want to go and find a local pharmacist that can sell you cocaine for you to snort, crack for you to smoke, weed for you to smoke, right? You have control of that. You also have control over your food choices. But all in all, I didn't want to get too far off topic, but I mean, this is Rage Bait. She's doing her thing. It's very smart. It's one of the smartest things you can do to build a brand, especially online, because the video goes viral. She has several videos that actually went viral. I'm not going to go through all of them, but, people choose who they want to be with. And personally, just me personally, I want my kids to work out. It's just a better lifestyle. It's better for your immune system. It's better for longevity, right? How many overweight people do you see that are in their hundreds or 80 or 90? Not many, right? Because most people die from weight or what they consume, lifestyle complications at an early age. So you don't have to have a six-pack. You don't have to have crazy muscles, right? But just being lean, period, it's a longer life, a better life. The attraction is there. It's you can even monetize your body, not just on OnlyFans, but you could be a model, a fitness model. You could, clothes, whatever. You can do all of that stuff when you are in great shape. It's a great networking tool. It's a great icebreaker. When you are in shape, people will approach you all the time. I get it all the time in the gym. People approach me, ask me questions, ask me for advice. People just say, hey, all the time, man, I see you in here working out. Although I don't work out, I train. It's two different things, but it's definitely something, that it's just better. Okay. In my opinion, just think about this. When you go out in public, how many overweight people do you see versus how many fit people you see? Being fit is rare. It's a lot harder to get six-pack abs than it is to make $1 million out here. So when you wear it, when you wear what you consume and what your priorities are, people can see it from a mile away. That is a disciplined person. Even just looking at her, she's very disciplined. All right. She has discipline. This takes work. This isn't easy. People think, that there's a magic pill. You got the whole Ozempic thing popping. Ozempic isn't going to have your abs popping like that. It's not. Okay. Ozempic, it burns fat, but it also burns muscle. You have to work out and take it. But again, work out. You got to put the work in regardless. It's not easy to do, especially with the way or how addicting food is. So all in all, you can tell that she is a hard worker. You have to be in order to get to that level. But again, let me know what you all think, man. Make sure you all hit a like for the algorithm. I appreciate you all tapping in. To me, there's nothing wrong with getting the pounds off, But as far as you shouldn't be in a relationship, that's just straight up rage, baby.